Gonna watch a Medic POV. This is a 30-minute game. We're watching HatSimulator play Medic on Snake Water. He says at some point he accidentally goes crits, so we'll see what happens. Alright, they don't have 6 people on this mid. Looks like they're missing a scout. It's a bit of a problem. Rolling out right. Looks like they're running double gunboats right now. Here, you shouldn't really worry about turning around to buff that scout. I don't know, you should let him catch up to you. People on the left roof, when you're trying to arrow them, they should stand still. Because they tend to be pretty safe up there. They can just hide behind that corner and you can arrow them real quick. But, like, until they do that, you shouldn't be, like, spamming arrows. Because it's just a waste of you not healing, you know? And I feel like you tunneling on arrowing your, like, spamming arrows at your teammates caused you to lose a little bit of awareness. Of what the enemy team was like doing, how they were approaching and trying to bomb you and stuff. That scout's gonna die. Yeah, you can just run away. Your demo might die too, but it's in your best interest to survive, so even if he does die, you should try and get out. Scout point, I like that when your teammates are pushing forward, you're confident to go with them. That's good. You hear shots being fired by that scout, so you should like instantly be reacting to that. And it looked like you were spinning around, but if you just pay more attention to where the shot came from, like you'd know he was up in window. All right, here you had to get forced. What you should do right now is just flash someone so they can try and get the force and then run away. Like you should not be committed right now when your Uber is fading on point because you're just gonna die. So the problem there was you just didn't have any post-Uber plan for escape. What's better, good DM and decent awareness, or decent DM and good awareness? I'd say decent DM and good awareness. I should turn on view models. There you go. Got him. So here he should take forward. So he's wasting a lot of time by running here. A lot of time. And the most direct route would have been to just go through lower. So I don't know what he's doing. He's hesitating. What the fuck? You have middle, son. Go. So the other team might think that they have even Ubers here, but he knows that it's actually a disadvantage for him because he wasn't healing for so long. So once he gets to around like 60-70%, that's when he should expect the other team to have Uber. Alright, your roamer just died to a flank or to a scout, so you know your flank is open. You know for a fact there could be a scout behind you, and there is. And he 2-shots you. So like you need to pay attention to the kill feed. If your roamer's dead and your demo is dead, think about what that allows the other team to do. Your roamer dying to a scout, and it sounded like a quick fight, right? It sounded like your roamer just died, so you can assume he probably didn't do too much damage to the scout. So the scout's just going to keep holding W, right? Your roamer probably should have called what was going on and warned you, but like you can react before they have to tell you. You know, you can think for yourself. My roamer's dead to a scout. That scout's probably going to push the flank. Should be the instant reaction. What makes a medic good besides awareness? Movement, heal priority, Uber flashing, arrows, all that stuff. Handling pressure, not dropping. Alright, so you guys are going to start pressuring, but I expect you to be at disadvantage right now. Yeah, you can hear they have Uber, so you're definitely way too close given the fact that they have Uber. And like climbing on the train and stuff, it's awful to be climbing on things when the enemy team is coming in, because if they come in at that exact moment, you're just going to get caught like in the middle of nowhere on top of the train or jumping to the train. Alright, you guys are getting frags now, so even though you're at 90% and I think they still have Uber, you should be able to take this into middle because your numbers should offset the Uber disadvantage. Well, now you have Uber, so you're fine. Walking in, they Ubered. That pop was pretty much unnecessary. Like, what you probably should have done was just like when you peeked the corner and you saw their combo was there, Ubered, you should have been creating as much space as possible between them and yourself and using your teammates as body blocks, or even just run around the corner and saw so they can't do any damage to you whatsoever. Trying to save that scout is pretty pointless because your team could have easily cleaned them up without that scout, and then you would have Uber to push last right now. But instead you wasted the Uber to save their scout, and then you guys didn't even chase their combo out. So it was just an all-around wasted Uber. Kind of a panic pop, I'd say. Hello, Roro. I can watch yours tomorrow. Alright, you guys have Uber. They're really peeking right now. One thing I like to do when I play Medic is I like to mask my Uber, especially when the enemy team is like peeking, because sometimes you can make them overcommit if they don't think you have Uber. Alright, you got 2 picks. So having 2 picks, you potentially don't need to pop. There, you popped after he was dead, so that was just kind of a slow reaction. The other problem there was your pocket was completely alone. You didn't have a demo, you didn't have a scout with him. And there you should never be peeking or leading first. Because if you over peek that, there could be a sniper and you just get headshot and then boom, you're dead. Alright, the pyro, again, you kind of still over peeked it. Like, even though your teammates are in, you don't need to swing super wide to the left. You only need to swing wide enough to heal your teammates, if that makes sense. So, they just committed and killed you. But oh my god, that guy got an accidental kill. Partially it's because of that like early overcommitment, the over peak. You took a little bit too much early damage. Alright, your demo's gonna die. So most likely you guys are not gonna be able to hold second at all. Did he survive that? There's no fucking way. Alright, he's gonna die now. So there, it looks like you have a problem where sometimes people like stop walking forward and then you walk past them. That's a big problem. Like, you need to really be considering your spacing and your yeah, just like paying attention to where your teammates are and what they're doing, because for that split second where you're ahead of any teammate, you could get instantly focused down and killed. So your spacing is definitely something to pay attention to. You should never really be the first one in or leading unless like the enemy team is wiped and you know exactly where they all are. If you guys are losing numbers now, you should expect the enemy team to have advantage, and if you're down 1 or 2, like, you're just gonna get rolled. Okay, their medic randomly dropped, but you guys had to play really far forward in order to make that happen. You see 3 people on the right, so I would probably push forward into Saw instead of just standing out in the middle of nowhere where you can get triangulated. Luckily you hit a nice surf, but the only reason you're alive is because both their scouts missed every shot. Once you saw all 3 of them in front of you, you should have known the only spot that was safe would be to move forward. They had cut off your exit. And going into Saw, it wouldn't be too bad there, honestly, because you have cover, you have walls to work with, and a health pack and all that stuff. Alright, so walking through Saw right now. You guys have a pretty significant advantage right now. That death by your teammate early was pretty bad. I would like to see you have more scouts in these Ubers. Like, it seems every Uber is like a solo onto a soldier or a demo. And solo Ubers are they're kind of risky a lot of times, because while your player can put out a lot of damage, they can't always clean up every frag. Scouts are the masters at cleaning up and closing frags. Do you need an invite still to participate in the beta? Right now, yes. Alright, that guy might die. Alright, you saved him. Getting out. I think the enemy team has ad right now, so when they have advantage, you just kind of want to be playing with an exit in mind. Being close to Saw like this is... See, now you've been cut off and you're going to die. You should die. I probably would have run kitchen because that was just the nearest exit you had. And then you went back in. Questionable, questionable, questionable. Once you had gotten out and escaped that first like soldier that came in, you should have just counted your blessings and ran away.
We have lost the control point.
So 4-second spawn. I think their medic died there. They're gonna have a slight advantage. Right behind you. Just fucking buff me and I'll jump on the soldier's face. Fuck, man. Got some team tension going on here.
The control point is being captured.
See, the problem is I can tell that since that guy said that, you kind of want to heal him extra right now. But only heal him if it's the right thing to do. Alright, you've been sandwiched. Oh, you're dead. So dead. Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like the biggest problem for a lot of the reasons that you're getting caught out and killed is because you don't have any scout playing heals at all. So every single roamer that gets behind is just, he gets a free pass to push you. Every Uber, people are just surviving right next to you instead of getting cleaned up. So that's kind of a big problem I see with the team play style, and it's not necessarily your fault if that's happening. So you guys are running crits. Was this the one that you said was accidental? Either way, you guys are on crits for this middle. When there's a scout that's like low and he's near a health pack, you should just let him get a health pack, because you just wasted like 3 seconds healing that scout and it pulled you super far back instead of you like healing people that were still fighting. You pulled all the way back to heal someone who was not going to be doing any more damage that mid and could have easily just picked up a pack and then cycled back in with quicker heals, you know? So definitely don't want to be tunneling on the weak players unless it's like a really slow, drawn out fight and they're like ahead of you. But if they're way in the back, usually they're better off just taking an arrow, grabbing a health pack, you know, something like that. This is an accidental crits. But they don't know you're on crits, so that can still play to your advantage. The best way to use crits here would just be to get as many kills as possible. You already have 2 kills, so maybe you could just open it up and walk in on a side. Your demo gets killed. Still have the crits. I would honestly not pop here. Especially not with that pyro there. Oh, you got 2 kills. Your soldier should... You guys should commit, actually, off that. I think. You guys do have the numbers. A little bit of disconnect there. It looks like 2 people went in, 1 person ran out. I think they could have won that. I think you would have been safe going in there to heal that guy. Just playing at a safe distance, you know, because you know based on what's like happening in the kill feed and where you saw your teammates when you were dead that they were kind of like swarming around in lobby. So you shouldn't expect them to be on second yet. Okay, they just popped. You heard the medic voice line. So you actually have a 50% advantage. One good tip for you on medic is whenever the enemy team pops Uber, always call what your Uber is at, because that gives your team an idea of whether they should be trying to chase and like counter Uber immediately, or whether they should just sort of tighten it up and just build Uber for a little bit, you know, things like that. So that's definitely something to get in the habit of doing. Here you see them peeking lower and you have huge Uber advantage. This should be like, you guys should be moving into them, like going into them. I like that you kind of are. This is actually a pretty good Uber. This should get some frags. Why has that guy not been flashed yet? I would have flashed that scout the instant I saw him get juggled, because you definitely wanted a scout in that Uber, but it turned into another solo demo Uber. I think that's kind of a recurring theme, so try and figure that out with your team, how to get a scout like leading the pushes more often, you know what I mean? It's a lobby? Oh, okay. I didn't know this was a lobby. But it still applies regardless. They popped. So the instant they pop, you should never be taking steps forward, because those few steps that you took forward there up that ramp could have gotten you killed easily. You just need to react much quicker to the Uber being popped to escape and all that.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Again, every single step forward could cause you to die. There's a sniper, I wouldn't even risk it. I would have just popped. Because they already wasted their Uber, you could just farm them right now. Alright, this should be taken into last. So.
We have captured the control point.
Oh. Just drop that guy. He's in too deep. Didn't work. He didn't get in clean, so no need to overcommit to save him. They Ubered and then again. You did it again. They Ubered and then you took like 3 steps forward. That just can't be happening. Oh my god. Then you did it again. You just walked into them again. You need to be backing up to where you're safe and you can guarantee that you're going to kite the Uber. Once that's true, then you push forward. But for those first few seconds, you should probably just be backing up.
Stand on the point, Schweinhund!
What are my more favorite pubs when I play pubs? I'll play pretty much anything, man. I used to like Badwater a lot. I think it's easier to hit shots at scout while strafing the air with a tracking way to aim or more flick based. I personally flick a lot in the air. You like trying to keep people alive too much? Yeah. Honestly, I think another good rule for a medic is prioritize your own life first, always. If your teammates are overextended, if they're caught out, let them die. Maybe throw like a safety arrow or something, but you know, you need to survive and maintain your Uber. Alright. Definitely should get some mask binds and some Uber announcement binds and some fake charge binds. Not sure if that pop was necessary. They popped second, so you're gonna want to run away. It does seem you're a bit slow to flash people a lot of times. I keep noticing that you keep like putting your crosshair on a scout, and then he's not getting the flash that I would expect him to get. It's like always a couple seconds delayed. Not sure what's up with that. Alright, right now they have a heavy, so you should be looking to heal your demo. Your demo is going to be the one that can focus down the heavy the most. So I would have probably done a quick 180 and healed up the demo just to make sure that he was alive for that push to kill the demo. Or the heavy, sorry. Hello, Ton.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Alright. Again, let that scout come in late. Give him a late buff. That was a good surf there. Oh, so close. I think the only problem there was like early on in the fight, you put yourself out of position in order to try to heal someone that was going for a health pack already. So by the time you got back to sort of where you were supposed to be, it was already too late. They were already like bombing you and all that stuff. Alright, sounds good, Roro.
We have captured the control point.
Medic!
Alright.
Thank you! Medic! Medic! on the point.
I don't know if the enemy team's medic died. Based on how you're playing, I would hope it's even. Okay, you guys got a pick. You got 2 picks. Alright, you guys should be pushing now. That scout would be ideal to arrow. So the problem there was just a soldier came in from behind. I think you heard him rocket jump, but did not react to the rockets being fired. And then he hit you with 1 rocket, and you still didn't react. And then he hit you with a 2nd rocket, which should have dropped you. And then you finally popped, but you never once turned around to check what was hitting you. So it's a bit of an awareness issue there. Which class should you expect to take health packs? Anyone, honestly. If they're near a health pack, let them take a health pack. Everyone should be taking health packs because it eases the medic's job a lot, and it makes your heals a lot more efficient. From your experience, you should use the crossbow when the patient's at low health because the medigun won't be able to keep up. Yes, pretty much. But ideally you want them to kind of stand still. That way the crossbow is not going to be a waste of time, you know? But another good time to use the crossbow as a medic is if someone is in focusing someone that's not you. Like if you have a scout in trying to focus your demo, trying to throw him a crossbow to save him is fine, especially if he's out of your range. That's one of the most annoying times when someone gets crossbowed.
Ready to charge.
So they still have a sniper. Oh man. It's really risky to even peek that corner at all until you know that the sniper's been pressured. He's had the opportunity to take like 3 free shots on you. But you guys pretty much just wiped them, so I like that you're moving at like a fast pace, trying to move up towards top left.
Secure the control point. Victory.
And you won the round. Great job. Alright. I think automatic medic calls are useful. Yeah, I do. It tells you where your team is. How to track enemy Ubers. Uber takes... basically I like to break it down into like 25 seconds, or 25% every 10 seconds, essentially. Or by pressing tab a lot and knowing what percentage they spawned at, or when they spawn based on what percentage you're at. You know, things like that. A lot of it's just estimating relative advantages. You don't need to be perfect down to the percentage.
Ready to charge.
So here, I think you guys have a fresh pick. My favorite thing to do when you have a fresh pick rolling through a mid and you kept your medic alive is actually set up a suicide play to try and get another pick or just get a force right off the bat. But obviously, since this is a lobby and you're not a top invite team, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So you guys are just walking in, and here you are kind of alone. But you actually did a better job that time of realizing you were alone. That Uber was popped on nothing. You need to get out. This is a bad Uber, and you know it's a bad Uber. You shouldn't be ending your Uber in the middle of the second point. You know, if it's a bad Uber. You should be ending it in a safe area. And now you just, seems like you just kind of lost track of what the fuck was going on. So you killed that scout, and then you're like, I'm going forward, I think. But after you killed that scout, you probably should just kept running away.
Stand on the point, Schweinhund. Doctor.
Too far forward.
Medic.
Alright, now that your numbers are here, you can be a little bit more forward. Your scout there shouldn't be building that low, especially when you have people coming into the fight. it's really, really inconvenient to be building because people need buffs, and you're still going to be building at a fairly good rate, even if they're not like grinding their health down. Man, this is just awful. See, the problem here is you weren't able to buff any players, so none of them were able to get a decent position to actually hold any of those choke points.
Our control point is being captured.
This is dangerous. So you know they're going to pop first. There you just popped for nothing. You were full health, your pocket was full health, he was even buffed. He forced their medic and there was no one shooting at you, so there was no risk to either of you to pop that. That's another kind of like panic pop. Or it's a lot of newer medics have this idea where if the other team pops, then you should pop too. It's really not that simple. It's only that simple if they're in a position to actually do damage to you. You know? Shy guy with the big play.
Control point. Our control point is being captured.
This fucking player's name. Oh no. Your soldier probably should have called that trap, but and you heard the stickies being set up, I think. I don't know. Everyone's shouted out for capping as medic. Is that to keep your positioning secret, or are there other reasons? You know, a lot of times I do gain a lot of information if a medic caps, because it tells me like how far back they are. However, getting cap time is fine. I don't see any problem with it, as long as you're not like super far forward. As long as you're surrounded by your teammates and paying attention to all the flanks, like capping is fine. On a midpoint, usually it's okay, but if you've wiped them or something, or if you have advantage and you don't need to deny spawns, then you probably want to be moving up. So that soldier's coming in. He's obviously going to try and force you or suicide on you. You saw him coming from a mile away. Oh my god, please hold down right click. Okay, good. So it's good that you reacted to like run back and spawn. Oh, you isolated yourself late in the Uber. You did that thing again where you walk ahead of your teammate even though he's backed up, you know? That was good there. You saw that soldier jump in, so you just ran back to your teammates. And you guys are trying to roll into mid. I think their demo just died. So you guys are, you're in middle, you're just fragging, frag fest. This is not worth your time. Like going back to heal that guy was, it slowed your team down so much, because you guys actually had like a, you were at like 90% and I think you had advantage, but then you went back to heal some dude who was just sitting on a health pack, whereas you should have kept moving with momentum. Just kind of completely slowed things down. Here you should just Uber him, get him in, take it off your demo and give it to the scout. Like if your demo's healthy, he doesn't need to be Ubered. Maybe one flash just to keep him alive, but usually your demo's going to be playing at like a range where he doesn't need to be Ubered. It's the scouts and soldiers that are going to usually go deep. I think they're about to close this one out. 30 seconds left. Let's see what they can do. Their demo's bombing in. Their sticky's on the point. They're not going to win this because it's a heavy that's not going to die. And I think that's going to be the end. So, GG. This is when you go in deep. Alright, there it is. Alright, Hat Simulator. So you were here during this. You got to witness it yourself, which is good. I think the main things for you to pay attention to are positioning yourself based on their Uber advantages, so you're safe, so you can get out. Taking the easiest exit a lot of the times. Don't overcomplicate things. Also, being more disciplined with when you shoot arrows, making sure your teammates are actually like standing still, coordinating that kind of stuff. Ubering in with trying to Uber a scout more. I know it was a lobby, but having a scout plus a soldier or a scout plus a demo is usually ideal. Then other things are just awareness, like based on kill feed or who on your team is dead, knowing what kind of openings are available for the other team to flank you and force you will really prevent you from wasting Ubers. Other than that, not chasing people who are like getting health packs. You know, don't waste your own momentum to heal a teammate. You know, because then some big opening, some big window that you could have used your Uber in might close, and then the round just kind of stalemates out, and it just ended it. I don't know. So it's just things like that. Lots of other tips here and there, so hopefully that helped, Hat Simulator. Thank you again.